When you watch the game just grow, as far as I'm concerned, the speed. When you talk about Connor McDavid, you talk about Barzell, some of these great, fast, young superstars, and you watch the NHL, and your father played in the NHL in the '80s and '90s, and now you look at today's game, and it's a lot faster. But I thought the game there were more superstars in the '90s. What are your thoughts to the change of the speed of the game, the rule changes that the NHL implemented into the game later from the '90s? What do you think this helped the game, or you think it affected the game for the worst?
I think it's helped the NHL substantially. Just giving these young skill guys a lot of creativity, and it's amazing seeing the kids coming up, and even the superstars like McDavid, Barzell, Matt. How they can skate at the top speed that they can skate, and their hands are able to have the ability to keep up with their speed is just mind blowing to me, because that's obviously not my game. But to see them do it at such high speeds and at a high level is unbelievable. And I think the rules and what the GMs have all come together and put their heads together to figure it out have done a great job in only making the game more entertaining. I believe, and you see it in the scores every night.
I've always argued that it's not just straight forward speed that matters in hockey, it's also side to side and even backward speed, just getting into specific spots as fast as you can. Even with a faster game now where Errol was talking about with fast skaters that can go straight forward, do you think those other directional skating, doing it as fast as they do it now, is just as important, if not more?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the defenders are so good now, and especially at their level with, their sticks and their skating ability. So being able to go side to side and, make them cross over and, pivot is huge. And I think, that separates a lot of guys when they, have that ability to, have that side to side movement and, the change of speed. And you see that McDavid goal that he scored on O'Reilly against Toronto, where he kind of plays it, where he's not even looking at him, but just has that, separation speed and blows right by him. It makes you shake your head and wonder what you're doing wrong in the off season and why you can't do that. But that's why he makes what he makes, and I think what I
made. We are talking to Providence Bruins winger Brendan Woods. Now, Brendan, you watch some of these NHL players. We just talked about Connor McDavid, or you're talking about Sidney Crosby, or some of these superstars. Was there a particular player when you actually said that when you were drafted in the NHL, was there a particular player you said, I would love to play against that guy? I want to kick the you-know-what out of that guy. Was there a particular player that really stood out to you when you got drafted and you said, my dreams came true?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Sidney Crosby was in the league at that time when I was playing, and I didn't get to play a regular season game, but I did play in an exhibition, and I kind of ran Gonchar and kind of shook him up and got him kicked out, or sent him into the locker room, and the next thing I know, I kind of taking a two-hand top of the knee from Crosby, and I grabbed him and kind of was just like, what am I doing? I can't do anything to this guy. He's the best player in the league kind of thing. So, yeah, it was kind of cool to, put yourself up against, one of the best players, in the league, and, getting a chance to play against him. I got to play against Stamkos in Tampa, which was pretty cool. Jaromir Jagr, I got to play my first game against. I remember my dad, giving me crap at the end of the game, just saying, hey, you weren't even warming up. You were sitting there. I was like, well, sorry, Dad, I had Jaromir Jagr. I was just at awe that he was on the other side, and I was about to play kind of thing. So it was pretty cool to play against one of the greats like that, who's obviously a Hall of Famer. So.
You probably never would have thought that Jagr would be still playing when you got drafted.
Yeah, no kidding. He's a fossil out there, that's for sure.
So, again, speaking of Sidney Crosby, you're actually from Pennsylvania, growing up there, and we've had actually some guests between Western PA and Central PA that have really lobbied for just the Pittsburgh high school and college programs, and Pennsylvania, college and high school programs is producing a lot of these great athletes. Have you seen it when you were growing up? Obviously, you got drafted. Have you seen it growing up, not just with hockey, but also with other sports?
Yeah, I spent a short period of time. I was only there for 1 year in high school, and then kind of left. But speaking of just colleges, you see what Penn State has done with that program. And it started off as a club team, and now they're one of the best college teams programs in the nation, kind of thing. So, and I know there's been a lot of in-state guys down there, so it says a lot about the state of Pennsylvania, and the programs that they have in that state. So, and there is hockey around there. You don't have an NHL team, but you have Philadelphia Flyers. I guess you do in Pennsylvania. But
Weird. Okay. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
No. I was gonna just say that we are talking to Providence Bruins winger Brendan Woods. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Brendan.
No, you're not good. But yeah, no, it's nice to kind of have the teams, like whether it's the American League teams with Hershey, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton Penguins, the Flyers, the Phantoms, and all that, all around there, Washington, with the Capitals. So I think the more the kids go to these games and fall in love with sports, the more they're going to want to dive in and go through and learn how to play.
Now, Brendan, I've over the years, I was born in '82, and I looked up to guys like Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, the big superstars, the Chris Chelioses of the world, the Tony Amontes, the Jeremy Roenics, just all the great, old players that now are Hall of Famers that really took hockey to that next level. When you look at your father and his career as an NHL player, was there any was your game similar to his, or did you want to be different as a player when you stepped on the ice and when you started to train and trying to be the next NHL player from your family?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my dad is a Texan, so obviously playing forward, I didn't have, those shoes to fill, but obviously, wanting to kind of one-up him and, get to the NHL was always nice. So, once I got that opportunity, I was definitely making sure to let him know, like, hey, like, I felt like I was always in the shadow of him and kind of get out of that and be able to be like, hey, I went up there kind of thing was nice, but I just kind of focused on my game and myself, my skills, what I need to do kind of to, get to that level. I mean, he was more of a skill guy defensively back there, but, he wasn't afraid to drop the nuts and throw a few punches either. So, I looked up to him in that way and, try to kind of fill the shoes when it comes to sticking up for my teammates, being a good leader and, on and off the ice for them. And, I think looking up to my dad and stuff has really helped me in my career and my path, hopefully moving forward, continuing to do that.
I've always said that Wisconsin, going back to your college days, was always going to be a hot spot for NHL expansion, especially even when Vegas was coming in at the same time. I actually didn't think that would work, and I thought Wisconsin was actually the best spot. As somebody who played college hockey there and embracing their fans, embracing the love for the game of hockey there, do you think that could work in Wisconsin, an NHL team? And if so, could they actually become one of the most passionate fan bases in the league?
I know the fan base is big here. I mean, it stinks. Like, they have obviously the Milwaukee Admirals, but just having, Chicago and Minnesota and, like, St. Louis, there could be, a big rivalry between, all four of those teams if they did have one. I mean, I'm not sure where they could, put a team here, but I definitely know that the fans would definitely be there just from seeing them, in college. They love it. They're passionate, and I think it would be awesome to kind of have that go on. I don't know if that is a possibility now that Seattle comes too, but I do know that the fan base would be spectacular here.
All right, so Brendan, we're going to play a game with you. Are you ready? We're going to ask you silly questions, and you got to answer them, okay?
All
right. First question is, what goaltender did you always want to shoot on? And if you did get a chance to shoot on him, how many goals did you score on him?
What goaltender did I always want to shoot on? We'll go with John Hughes. Played with him in Charlotte. Me and him would always back on practice. But I would light him up for sure.
Next question. There's a lot of superstition in professional hockey. And a lot of them, I'm one of them. When I used to play in the playoffs, I never wore underwear under my equipment. What is the craziest thing you've heard when it came to the playoffs and superstition?
Craziest thing I've heard. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't know playoffs, but during the season, Brendan Gaughan, I think, would wear the same dress socks. I mean, every game because he was on a bit of a point streak for like 10, 12 games, and he wouldn't change his socks. And I want to say underwear, but I think that's wrong. But definitely his socks. But yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head that I kind of thought was a bit funny, but yeah, sorry I don't have a better answer.
That's all right.
You guys on
That's
that.
all right. Traveling around the world, what is the craziest thing a fan has said to you?
Traveling around the world, the craziest thing a fan. I don't really know. I didn't really have anything. I'm being a terrible.
No. Because you know some people have answers.
In college, like North Dakota has an unreal student section. Like if you go into the box, kind of they're all surrounded there, and they have like their notebooks and stuff like that. And I mean, honestly, the only thing I got was just like giving me like your mom's a rocket or she's hot, kind of like just something stupid like that. Nothing. Like just nothing. I got nothing good for you there. Sorry, man.
That's all right. One more question. When you look at some of the players in the NHL and you compare and contrast your game to all the players that are in the NHL right now, is there a particular player that you see yourself being in the future as an NHL player when you get your chance to go back into the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, model my game probably. I mean, probably like I'd say maybe like a Tom Wilson, but he might have a little more skill than me, but just kind of a big guy that can skate and can play, willing to throw his weight around a bit. So I'd say like Tom Wilson. I kind of like it. I like watching him play. I know I get in a bit of trouble here and there, but,
is that what you're saying? You're a troublemaker? Is that what you're saying?
I've never been suspended yet, but I mean, I'm an honest player, and I think my teammates and guys I play against would say that. So I'd say like Tom Wilson.
It would take a lot more suspensions to get to where Tom Wilson has accumulated in his career.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Brendan, why don't you tell the fans how they can find you on social media?
Say that again?
Tell all the fans how they can find you on social media.
I can't hear you, sorry?
I said, tell all the fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, I mean, my Twitter is BrendanWoods92, and then I think my Instagram is BrendanWoods_21. So hit me up on there if you got any questions or need, have some questions on how to make your game better or what, or just anything. I'm approachable and love to help any way possible.
Well, if you ever have the opportunity to come out here in New York, I would love to get you on the show live. When the NHL season does begin again, I would love to get you on the show, especially if you get called up by the Boston Bruins. I would love to talk Bruins hockey with you in the near future.
Absolutely, yeah. I enjoyed this and look forward to the next time doing that with you guys.
Thank you, Brendan.
All right, guys.